good on him.
The next day in practice, I'm looking at Steve. Steve got the biggest black eye. And when I saw him, I went right up to him. I said, you know what? I'm totally sorry. I just lost my temper. He says it was partly my fault, too. I knew not to push you. We two grown men and teammates stood there for almost 20 minutes apologizing to each other. From that point on, I've always respected him. He didn't give up. He fought back. You know, he may have gotten the worst end of it, but I respect him.
Now, the fact that I found really interesting and completely forgot about was the fact that Steve Kerr and Michael Jordan didn't really have much of a relationship at this point. They'd only played together for 2 months, so the fact that Steve Kerr actually retaliated to Michael meant that Steve Kerr most definitely made Jordan respect him from that night forward. Jordan explained after the incident that he apologized.
And I called back to the Bulls practice facility, and they gave me Steve's phone number, and I got his answer machine. And I said, Steve, I am so sorry. My anger got the best of me. I really am trying to get myself back to where I once was, and it was just something that shouldn't have never happened, and I truly apologize for it.
Now, the thing that I love about this whole story is what actually came up after the fight. I mean, we all know that Steve Kerr, as a man who was one of the nicest guys in the NBA landscape, but the fact that he protected himself was the right thing to do. He says that he was embarrassed by how he was being treated and he wasn't going to put up with it. He also said that it was a totally different relationship from that point on. There was also mutual respect, with Kerr feeling that Jordan trusted him on the court more in important situations, which we now know is obviously true. Just look at the time Jordan trusted Kerr to take the game winner in the 1997 NBA Finals. That's pretty crazy.
6 seconds, 5, Michael in traffic to Kerr, 15-footer.
Now, it has to be said, the Bulls couldn't have been great without their immense talent of Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman, but they couldn't have been historic without coming together with players like Steve Kerr, Kukoc, and Ron Harper. The Chicago Bulls avoided major issues after the Kerr-Jordan incident and never lost more than 2 games in a row, taking on the characteristics of its coach and its leader. The same relentlessness that produced the training camp tussle led to arguably the best season of all time. After the incident, the Chicago Bulls finished with a 72-10 record, which lasted as the greatest record of all time until obviously the Golden State Warriors beat it. But I mean, the Bulls won a ring, so I still say it's the greatest record of all time. Now, from the NBA landscape and the outside world, from afar we don't really see what goes on in practices, and we're pretty much unaware of the little day-to-day arguments, but I can almost guarantee you that fights like this, maybe not to this extreme, but fights like this do happen a lot of the time, and it's not always a bad thing. It's just 2 players, 2 competitive players just getting into it, and I think it's honestly fine. I think we should maybe not hear more about it, but we should maybe sometimes get a little bit of insight from NBA players, because I think it's pretty cool hearing stories like this, and sometimes it can ultimately be the catalyst for creating tighter bonds, just like Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr. I honestly think that without the scuffle between Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr, the relationship between the 2 players probably wouldn't have been so strong. And I also want to mention the fact that Steve Kerr is probably one of the most genuine people in the basketball world, whereas Michael Jordan, no matter how great he was as a player, which I mean, he was obviously the greatest player of all time, he really wasn't the nicest bloke, and I'm pretty sure most of us know that. He was a great player, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying his basketball talent was not there. It was the greatest, he is the GOAT. But I'm saying, as a person, I don't think he was the nicest bloke, and that's just part of his nature. That's how he was. That's his competitive nature, and that's the reason why he was so good. That's just how he was. Ultra competitive. So I'm just saying, the next time you hear about 2 players getting into it at practice, maybe it's not because they hate each other, alright? Maybe it's the fact that it's just 2 competitive guys getting into it, and to be honest, it might even bring them closer together on the court. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. I just thought it'd be a really interesting video for those that don't know about the time Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face. And to be honest with you, Kerr wasn't the only player Michael Jordan punched in the face, which is pretty insane, but that's who Michael Jordan was. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe for more videos just like this. I honestly appreciate all the new subscribers because we've been getting a lot of new subscribers, which thank you guys so much for sticking around and enjoying the content. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. I think you guys will love this channel, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment some of your own ideas that you'd like me to make a video on, and that would be absolutely amazing. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace!
Must have called